So I thought we'd answer a question today that we got that I thought was really smart. Is female ejaculation the same thing as an orgasm?
Ugh. Do you know how many times I've answered this? All right.
Well, we're doing it on video now.
Okay, all right. Female ejaculation is the release of fluid. It is not an orgasm, okay? Now, I know it's going to break somebody's heart, maybe many women and many, many men, because they think it's proof that they've made. I had one woman write in and she's, would you please explain to men that an ejaculation is not an orgasm because my boyfriend, he thinks he's done such a great job and I'm nowhere near having had an orgasm. And then I write back and I say, darling, you should tell him that yourself. That's not my job, you know. So yes, women, there's nothing wrong with it if it happens.
No, and it feels good. It's a release of fluid. It always feels good.
Everybody knows if you urinated. Urination, defecation, some of my favorite
Sneezing,
things.
all those kind of releases.
Yeah.
Or it always feels good.
Autonomic nervous functions. They're perfect. It's lovely. It's not an orgasm.
Now, why is that, people have been critical of you, Betty, because you're so anti-female ejaculation. Look, if you ejaculate, we think it's wonderful. There are sites you can learn how to do it. It's kind of fun. It's something new. You're touching your body. I'm always for that. But it gets under your skin, and why? Like, break it down.
Because it has taken a younger generation back inside the vagina, which is the birth canal. It is not a sex organ. And then they think that there's a magic spot up there, and if they can just find it, and then the guys go, pop, 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 pop,
and they ignore the clitoris.
Exactly. So right in the beginning, my instincts were correct. I thought, well, there's something I've got to have to figure. It's the same thing with multiple orgasms. I had to break it down. So here it comes. Female ejaculation. Well, how come? I've had an active sex life. I'm very sex positive. I've had lots of different...
And you've never ejaculated?
No, never. And do I have a desire? No. Do I want to learn? No. Ugh, I'm a Virgo. Who wants to clean up that? It's a mess. The fluid is dilute urine. Now get over it. There's nothing wrong with, not golden showers because it isn't urine.
Well, no, because there is a teaspoon of this prosthetic fluid that women have mixed in with it. Yeah.
But it is still dilute urine. There's no other place it can come from because all right, here we go. The urinary tract sits right above the ceiling of the vagina.
Yes.
And it's got this little spongy thing around it. And when we get sexually aroused, it fills up with blood to protect it from penetration.
And the friction.
Now, Mother Nature designed that. Now, so what happens is that these kids go in there and they start banging on it. Ow!
Look, some people will like it, some people won't. It's like anything in sex, I feel. There are certain sex acts that people like. What I resent is that now it's become something that you have to do. And again, it's modeling after the, male sexuality, that you ejaculate and then that's an orgasm.
And then the guy stops and he applauds himself.
Exactly. So you ejaculate and that might feel good, but that's not an orgasm.
So it remains consistent, and we can repeat it 1,000 times. The clitoris is your primary sex organ for pleasure. The clitoris. Now, how often do you see the word clitoris?
Well, it's funny. I'm reading Masters of Sex, and I've just hit that chapter where they're talking about how Masters and Johnson, really Virginia Johnson, was very clit-centric and really focused on that, and how the feminists picked that up, and their research was the basis to prove that vaginal orgasms weren't the mature orgasms, to kind of refute Freud, saying that if you're having clitoral orgasms, forget it. That's immature, and that vaginal orgasms, because they found that a woman masturbating with clitoral orgasms were actually more intense.
Yes, and it felt better, and it happened quicker, and on all of the fake orgasms that we have to live with, because women don't want to hurt men's feelings. So what do? They fake their orgasm. Guys, please. We know you love to get in there. We know it's your favorite place for your penis. And we know it feels good. And I would never, ever object to that. Ever, ever, ever. But don't think it's the end-all, be-all for us. Unless you can get down there and diddle the clitty or have her do her own. Because you're controlling your own penetration, which is your stimulation. Let her control her primary sex organ, her clitoris. And that ends the battle between the sexes.
It does.
Is that so hard?
What a perfect message for
Valentine's Day. Brava, brava. Yeah, one more time. Clitoral stimulation with vaginal penetration. Happy Valentine's Day.